All right, we're moving to the Pac-12 next. We've got our Pac-12 expert, resident Field of 68 Arizona expert, Ryan Wohl. He produces the Arizona podcast for the Field of 68, so make sure you check that out as well. Ryan, thank you for being here, man. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks, guys, for inviting me on.
100%.
Yeah, we appreciate you coming on to a podcast where there have been two gentlemen here, myself included, and Gregory, who have said a few choice words about the Arizona men's basketball team. I don't know if you heard them, but especially Greg has had a few choice words to say about that basketball team. We might get into that, but we appreciate you putting that aside and helping us out with this Pac-12 tournament bracket, which I'm pretty excited about, honestly.
Yeah, let me go story time real quick, Ryan. I don't think you've heard this yet, but I got a DM over the weekend from Kirk Risa himself to my personal direct messages. All he said in his DM is, quote, "We'll see." And that is in reference to a clip that Rob Doster, my boss, put on Twitter over the weekend, misquoting me, saying that I trust Wendell Green, but I don't trust Kirk Risa. Now, I do deserve a little bit. I did basically say I don't trust Kirk Risa to lead Arizona to a Final Four, but I did not say I trust Wendell Green over Kirk Risa. So anyways, credit to Kirk. Now I'm a Kirk fan. I've been saying all year I'm not a Kirk Risa fan. Love the audacity to come at my DMs on that. Absolutely love it.
Yeah, I actually agree with that take. I don't really trust Kirk Risa either to lead this team. I think he's way too inconsistent. He's such a streaky shooter, and he just doesn't get to the hole at a high rate. And I feel like he's too inconsistent to lead this team.
Yeah, we're gonna have to find out where it goes. But I at least, like, as a fan of someone who talks their shit and kind of tries to back it up, like, I love Kerr opening the door to, like, hey, I saw you talking shit, and we're gonna see. Like, I'm very in on that. All right, let's go. Let's just jump into this bracket a little bit. We've got Arizona on the 1 line. We've got Colorado on the 4 line, UCLA the 2 seed, USC the 3 seed. A potential rematch of a game this weekend there. Those 4 teams have buys. And then, as I think a lot of people know, the bottom of the Pac-12 pretty weak this year. You've got Oregon at the 5 line trying to play their way desperately back onto the bubble. Don't know that that's going to happen without winning this entire tournament at this point. But Ryan, give us a team that is not a top 4 seed that you could see making some sort of run in this tournament. Is there anybody to keep an eye on?
I think it's the team you just said, Oregon. I was really impressed when Arizona played them just a few weeks ago in Tucson. They got 2 great guards, Jacob Young and Will Richardson. And I think with Dana Altman is his experience, I think they can make a run to even, maybe the Pac-12, championship here. I mean, they'd have to face Arizona potentially in that semifinals, and you never know what could happen, in March.
Definitely. I think right now, looking at it for me, and this is a little bit personal for me, just because I randomly have an affection for the Washington State Cougars. I love Michael Flowers. I love Roberts, the other guard they have. They got a big man who wears goggles, Deshaun Jackson, who I absolutely love watching play. And I see where they're at right now. And I think I had them, the 7th seed right here. So they match up with Cal in the first round. And then they're playing UCLA. And to me, the teams at the bottom of this conference tourney bracket, I feel like any team in that area, they could get to that semifinal or get to that final game. And then who knows in the Pac-12? I mean, last year we saw Oregon State was able to make a run, which actually went into the real tournament. They made a run there too. But I feel like any of these teams that are kind of at the bottom part of this bracket, I mean, even a team like Washington has played a lot better as of late. So if those teams can get to the games where they're matching up with UCLA and USC, I think those are, 2 very winnable games for those teams.
Yeah, I could see that as well, Carr. I like that call out.
Yeah, that's another good sleeper team. I just think, they would have to play UCLA, who to me, has been Arizona's, toughest test, and could see them in the championship of this tournament, which I really want to see that matchup again. And I think UCLA is just, they've slipped up a lot this year, but when they're fully healthy and they're hitting on all cylinders, they're one of the scariest teams, not only in the Pac-12, but in the country.
I've had a theory all year that UCLA is just waiting to flip the switch. Like they're a team that likes to play lights. And I'm starting to doubt myself on that a little bit because I think they've had big games down the stretch that they still haven't flipped the switch for. They obviously beat USC last night, but I don't know.
One positive for them is that Jaime Jaquez has actually been playing extremely well these past couple of games. So they get him going and they get Juzang back going to, healthy, first of all, those nagging ankle injuries that he has. But I feel like Jaquez was a missing piece kind of in the early year. He's finally starting to get it going. So that's good for their outlook, I think, moving forward. Maybe he's turning on a switch that he's a tournament player since March for Jaime Jaquez.
Let me ask you guys this from a betting perspective. Arizona's the favorite to win this conference at -120. UCLA is +160. It jumps all the way down to 10-1 odds for USC, the 3 seed, who I don't think is that far behind UCLA. And I guess they are far behind Arizona. I don't think they're that far behind UCLA. Oregon, 15-1. Everybody else, really, really long shots. Washington State, 30-1. We have a betting partner here, dimers.com/sleepers. You can get some deposit matches, some boosts, some free bets, etc. If I was going to go to dimers.com/sleepers and sprinkle something here, Ryan, where would you direct me to putting my money here? I'm looking at USC 10-1. That feels a little crazy.
The odds are great. Don't get me wrong, but just watching them slip up so many times. I mean, they did play Arizona close for a little bit and then fall behind. I don't think they're on that level. And I mean, Arizona's, path to that, that championship game is not that hard. I mean, they would have to either play, Oregon. Well, they have to play Arizona State or Colorado and then maybe Oregon. But yeah, I don't think it's that tough, and I don't think they could beat them. And I just think UCLA is better than USC. I mean, I think to get UCLA actually at plus money, I mean, I think that's pretty much a steal of a pick because they've had Arizona's number.
Cart, what do you think? Where would you go?
UCLA plus money does sound amazing, honestly. I love UCLA. Their first team all vibes in the sleepers book. This is what they do too. They know how to make this run. And for me, Arizona is not just the fact that it's not plus money. It's the fact that I don't think Arizona has really anything to gain from this. I mean, if Gonzaga slips up and they win the Pac-12 championship, maybe they could make a push for the #1 overall seed. But I don't see Gonzaga slipping up. I think they're a 1 seed regardless of what they do, honestly, in this Pac-12 tournament. So
I think they could lose the 1 seed if they don't win this.
You think?
Yeah,
really?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. If they lose, I mean, if they get losing the championship, I mean, it depends what other teams do. But I mean, I don't know if they get that 1 seed because a lot of teams have been overlooking Arizona the whole season. So yeah.
Yeah, they've been the Fielding the 68 bracketology show has had them as the 4th 1 seed lately. So they are in a spot where they need to keep winning. But I don't know if I was going to actually go up to UCLA at plus 160, I think I'd rather just bet on Arizona minus 120. Honestly, I think Arizona's a lot better than UCLA and basically pick 'em odds there. I'd prefer that, but I do think there's value in USC. God forbid if that team just got to the final, even if it was against Arizona and you have a 10-1 ticket, there's going to be some good hedge opportunities there. All right, let's get to predictions themselves now, Ryan. Give us your expected Final Four for this tournament, and then who makes the championship and who wins.
Yeah, my Final Four is going to be Arizona versus Oregon, and then UCLA versus USC. I don't think there's going to be many upsets here throughout the whole tournament, and then I think it's going to be Arizona versus UCLA for the 3rd time in the championship game. And on a neutral court is going to be a whole different experience because, 2 rowdy environments at Pauley Pavilion, at McCall Center. I'm just going to lean Arizona just because they've been the hotter team. They've showed they could win in so many different ways, not just by shooting, by defense, scoring in the paint. And they have a legit 8 guys deep. I think Arizona has one of the best benches in the country. Umar Ballo, Pella Larson, Justin Kier, 6-year player. They just have it all, I think.
Yeah, it seems like the safe bet. As down as I've been on Arizona all year, I think they run through this tournament. is where my head is at now. And maybe that's just because Kirk Reese DM'd me, but I'm in.
I'm not mad at that. I'm still siding with UCLA. So I'm siding with the same match as far as Ryan said in the championship game, but I'm going to go ahead and side with UCLA. I think it's just a thing. It's just one of those teams that has your number. It is what it is.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, Ryan, thank you very much for doing this. We appreciate you again. Please, everybody, go check out the Arizona podcast that Ryan produces on the Field of 68. And looking forward to watching this tournament, man.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you, Ryan.